No. That ain't it. That ain't it. And then you're like, oh shit, it's what I asked for. Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a video, a fun video. Very, I hope, informative, but I'm kind of nervous. But on Instagram, I asked you guys to ask me like your most personal questions. So I got a lot of questions. So I said, let me answer them. Let me have a little bit of fun. I'm kind of scared to know like what questions you guys ask because I haven't looked at any of them. So I'm like kind of nervous, kind of like, like what is it gonna, like what question is gonna be there? Can I record a video? Can I upload it? Like what is it? So let us see. Let me see. First, let me see how many questions there were. Oh wow, there's a lot. Okay, so I think what I'll do is just like, I don't think I can answer all of them. I'll try, but I don't know. But I'll just like skip around. I'll just like scroll. I'll just like scroll where I stop. I'll answer questions. Scroll again where I stop. Answer a question. So I'll just go back and forth. Alrighty. So, all right. Marriage related. Does Chris work in the US or in Nigeria? How has life changed since marriage? Okay, so Chris works here in the US. He worked in Nigeria some years ago in the bank. He has like financial like background and stuff in Nigeria along with like his engineering stuff. So yeah, he used to work in Nigeria at a bank, but he works here in the US. He went to school here for engineering. He's done, I always forget like which ones. I think it's like chemical and mechanical engineering was like in bachelor's, and then I think he got a master's in oil and gas. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think it's like, and then I know he did some in Nigeria, so I'm kind of confused because it's like he's done a lot of the different engineering, but he works in the US. So right now he works at a law firm in their financial department. So he's a financial analyst for this law firm. So as I said, he used to work in a bank in Nigeria, so he has experience with like, you know, financial stuff. So right now that's what he's doing. And then he does like contract jobs on the side, engineering contract jobs, like computer stuff, you know. Oh wait, and how has life changed since marriage? Let's see, how has it changed? There's a lot more like adulting to do, like putting together like your finances, making like life decisions about like where you're living and like insurance stuff and what else, family stuff, you know. It's like a lot of adult things that start happening, but it hasn't changed like the fun side of things, so it makes it more fun. So yeah, so that's how it's changed. Let's see, so next question, how has chemistry with Chris been since having the baby? Oh my gosh, so it's like, okay, so I say this to people like now when I see people and stuff, and they're like, say like, oh, how's it having a baby? I want to have a baby and stuff like that. So you know how people are in like rocky relationships and then they think that having a baby will like repair it, and then it never does. And it's like, I know that, but living it with a child, you understand how it never works. Because when you have a child, you have lack of sleep, and then you're trying to figure out how to take care of a human because it's your first time. So it's like a lot of things are going on at the same time. You're like confused, like you're like, oh, what do I do? Baby's crying, doing this, trying to do this, and then like you're telling your partner like, I need help with this. Okay, you're not doing it right, I'm not doing it right, and then it's very chaotic. And then you start like when the baby comes and you're like, well, I mean, you could be first time, second time parents, but as first time parents, there's so many arguments about like the little things, like, oh no, I don't know how to do this, baby's crying, what do I do? No, you're not doing it right, all this stuff, you know. And it's like I realized that you have to actually like the person to go through that, so that, and then you guys come out stronger. Because if you didn't even like the person, or you're questioning the person before the baby came, when the baby comes, it's gonna ruin everything because babies are stressful. So it's like you're going through a stressful period, and then you guys are gonna start fighting and doing all this stuff. So I always think like, okay, yeah, when people have kids and try to have kids like help relationship, that I know why it doesn't work. Like you have to like the person first before the baby comes, because it's not gonna work out at the end. Chemistry has been good. Like as first time parents, like you learn what the other parent can do and they're good at, you know, like tag teaming and doing teamwork kind of thing, you know, like, okay, you do this, I got this, you got this, okay, do this, maybe I'll do this, you take care of this, you know. So it makes the flow easier with like as learning, you know what I mean. Like I feel like we've come out of like the newborn stage trying to figure it out. I feel like we're more comfortable now, and then I feel like when we think about us time, like when the baby goes to sleep, like I feel like I get a little bit more excited than like how it used to be, because it's just like, okay, yeah, when we finish our tasks for the day, then we'll just watch a movie and get some food. But now it's like, okay, baby's down, okay, let's like pop in a movie, let's get some wine, you know. Like Chris always gives me a back massage and foot massage, and I always look forward to it. It's like quietness, the baby's asleep, and it's like it's us time watching movies and having fun. So yeah, I feel like that's how it's just, the dynamic has changed a little bit, but it gets more fun. Tony said, how many weeks pregnant were you before you went on maternity leave? Oh, okay, I was actually 8 months pregnant before I went on maternity leave. I went on maternity leave, and I think I had like 4 weeks before I was full term. So yeah, that's when I went on leave, like right, like a couple weeks before I was like 9 months pregnant. So I didn't even think I would last that long, because I said that like by the time like my feet start killing me, I'm out, you know what I mean. And then it's like when you think about, okay, well actually I only have these, I had 16 weeks maternity leave on top of all my PTO I had, so I had a pretty good like 3-4 months off. So then I was like, actually, you know what, I'll actually like work until I literally cannot work anymore, and then I'll go on leave, because you want to savor that PTO time, maternity leave time, when the baby's here. So I worked until I couldn't work no longer, and that was like 4 weeks before I was like 9 months. So okay, how do you and Chris decide how much to spend on things like a house or a car? Okay, for a car, I think we break it down based on like how much the car payment will be per month, and then like what, okay, it's like how much you make a month, and then how much of that already goes to other things, and how much do you have to add on a car, you know what I mean. So that's how we decide how much to spend on things like a house and a car. So how much you can afford at the time. I remember when I just graduated from school and I started working at Walmart. I moved back to Ohio from Pennsylvania, just started working, and before that my dad always bought me a car. My first car, my second car, I think I only had 2 cars. First car, second car, yeah, I only had 2 cars. So my dad has always gotten me those cars, and in our family our dad always buys us cars. So when I finished school and I graduated, moved to Ohio, got a job, started working, my car that I was driving started breaking down. And this was like probably October. Yes, October. So as far as my car started breaking down, I was kind of like, okay, let me take it to service. And at that time I was driving a BMW X5. So I took it to the car place, and they were like, okay, it's gonna cost, it was literally like $10,000 to fix my car. And I'm just like, $10,000, well, I don't have that. So then I was like, well, that's almost like buying a new car, like that's like a down payment for a new car or something like that. So I told my dad, and I was like, this is how much they said. And he was like, well, then you're gonna have to just buy a new car, you might as well, because there's no point in putting that much money in that car. So now I was, in my mind I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, that means I have to buy myself a car. Okay, I never bought myself a car before. How much do cars cost? How much do cars cost per month? How do I go about buying one? Literally, that's what happened to me. It was kind of like a reality check, like adulting, you know. So My mom helped me like break down how much I made per month, how much goes to like apartment rent, food, other expenses, and how much I had left to be able to afford the car and then have money left over, you know, for savings and other things like that. So so the car that I wanted was the Mercedes GLA, and it just came out. I think I was like the third person in Ohio to have that car. I was so happy and excited. So my mom came and then she helped me like take my car that was broken down, take it to the dealership and get a new car. So at that point, that's when I realized, okay, this is how much, you know, I should allot for things like that and how much I can afford. So that's my experience with like cars and stuff like that, and then paying monthly and all this stuff. So yeah, so then that's car. So it's like you kind of just have to figure out how much you have to spend on that car. And then for house, so I remember when before Campsy was here, we were trying to decide, should we buy a house, should we rent a house, because it was like down to the wire. We didn't have not enough time. So in my mind, I'm like, I never bought a house before. I don't know how much houses cost. You know what I mean? Like mortgage, like what is that? So we kind of had to like think about, okay, how much are we paying in rent right now? How much? So then like we kind of use that to base, okay, so that means that we can probably afford this or this, you know, for mortgage. I know for buying a house. And on top of that, when you have a house, you have a little bit more expenses with like maintenance and utilities and stuff like that, because it's not like a company that owns the apartment taking it for you. You have to take care of everything, and if like something happens, call someone to come fix the drains or something like that. So we kind of broke it down like that, what we can afford, and then we kind of stayed in that lane of house ranges. Anyways, when we're in the process of trying to decide to buy a house, it was way too late. So we just decided to rent. And then with like renting, we stayed in the same budget that we were in as like we were renting before, even though we wanted something bigger. So we grinded to find something. And how much we're spending now on rent for this house is the same as the place that we were before. And it's like a miracle. It's so good. Thank God Ohio has a very low cost of living. You get a lot of space, a lot of footage, a lot of house for like very little. So the place that we found now is within our budget, what worked for us, and then that's how we figured it out. So yeah. Oh my gosh, someone just said, I just wanted to say that I love you and just found out that your parents are my godparents. Who is you? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I gotta save this so I go back and look at her profile and be like, who? So that my parents are her godparents. Wow. Her name is Stephanie. Someone said, are you excited to show Campsy the beauty of Nigeria when you go back, when you and your family go back? Definitely. Like, I cannot wait to take Campsy to Nigeria so he can smell the Nigerian air, meet his extended family, all of Chris's siblings, like all my aunties and uncles that are in Nigeria, all his cousins, like, you know, and just him to grow up just like I did. My parents reminded us that Inky went to Nigeria for the first time when she was 2 months old, and I think I went to Nigeria the first time. I don't even remember. I think was I even one yet? I don't know. I forget. But yeah, and ever since then, my parents took us to Nigeria every single year. So it was like a part of my childhood. So yes, I can't wait to continue that and take Campsy to Nigeria. Someone said, how did you meet your husband? We did a video on this. So we have a video on our love story. I'll link it on the screen and down below. But long story short, Chris sent me a DM. Was it I? Okay. Yeah, Chris sent me a DM on Facebook. If you watch the video, you can get the long version of how the DM got to how that part got there to the DM. Well, Chris sent me a message on Facebook DM. I messaged him back, and then now we're here. What does Campsy Sochi mean? Thanks. Campsy Sochi means it means how I believe. Yeah, like that's the best way to like interpret it. How I believe in God, or how I follow God. There's variations of Campsy Sochi. There's There could be Kamsi, or yeah, Kamsi Sochuku, Kosi Sochuku. Oh, Kosi Sochuku or Kamsi Sochuku. That's like the more common way of saying that phrase, but we wanted to like make it a little bit more like uncommon. So instead of saying Chuku, which means God, we say Chi. Chi means God as well. So Kamsi Sochi, so as in like follow, believe, Chi, God. So as the way as I believe, or that is just like there's a ways you can finagle the words, but just the way I believe in God, the way I follow God. So yeah. Pressure to have a baby after your wedding? If so, how did you navigate it? No, we didn't feel pressured at all to have a baby after the wedding. I feel like us and our immediate family like knew that, okay, you just got married, like enjoy being married alone, enjoy this time of just like, you know, being married without kids and just doing your own thing, doing whatever you want, you know, all that stuff. So I feel like our immediate family like understands that concept of, you know, enjoy this time now before the kids come. So definitely we were not pressured at all. After the wedding, did you have wedding blues? Oh, I didn't know there was wedding blues. I didn't know that there was like more pregnancy blues, but wedding blues, I didn't have wedding blues, but I had a sense of like the day after the wedding, like that week after the wedding, I had a sense of like it's over. You know what I mean? And it's like not that I felt sad, but you're kind of like, oh, like I just want to do it over again so I can relive it again, because you spend so much time planning, and then that whole planning is for one day, and then it's over, and you're like, oh, that's it? Wait, can I do it over again so I can like, you know, experience that again? Because it's like it's like so much time goes into that one day, then it's like after you kind of feel a sense of like it's over, and then it's like you're still on the high about it, but like all your guests that came, like they've left, they went on to continue their lives, and you're still like trying to hold on to that day, like, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, and then it's like it's over, and then you feel like, that's it. Then you kind of realize like, okay, maybe we shouldn't stress so much about planning a wedding, because it's literally just one day. You know what I mean? And then it's over. So I can't see that one, but she was in a relationship. She's been talking to the guy for the past 2 years, and then I don't know what else. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay. He is saying, okay, so it's continued on. Oh, it broke it down. Oh, it broke it down into 4 different posts. Okay. Okay, so hi Iffy. There's this man I've been talking to for the past 2 years. He is saying that he wants to marry me and all, but I'm just not into him. I don't even know why. This guy is literally I'm just not into him. I don't know why. The guy is literally everything I want in a man. He is loving, caring, funny, ambitious, and faithful. I tried to let him know that I'm not interested, but he is not having it. What do I do? Then you just tell him. I don't know, sometimes I don't understand why I feel like people make situations more complicated than it has to be. And like cutting people, I feel like I'm the queen of cutting people off. Like if I'm cutting somebody off, I'm like, there's no the next day, oh, I don't know what to do, like I just like they're still messaging me. It's just like, cut it off. Like it's not that hard. So if you really want to cut somebody off, you just cut them off. You know what I mean? If you really just want to, you don't like, you told the guy, okay, like, you know, you're very nice, it was really nice talking to you, but I don't think that, you know, we'll work out, it's a match, you know, we're compatible, whatever. And then just say like, I would, you know, just, you know, we cut ties. You know what I mean? And then if the person still bothers, is like still messaging you after you said that, then I feel like you should know how to press block on something. You know how to not respond to anybody, and then they'll eventually go away. So sometimes it's like, are you sure that you don't want to talk to him? Because trust me, like if I had to cut somebody off, I can cut somebody off. Someone said, if you would have gave birth to a girl, what would be her name? Okay, so her name, so Okay, so we didn't know the gender of our baby, so we had a set of girl names and a set of boy names. So I don't remember all the names that we had for the girl, but I think some of our favorites, well, definitely, okay, so I wanted the baby to have Chris in the name because of Chris's name. So I already knew that if it was a boy, it would be Christoph. So if it was a girl, it was going to be Christiana. So that's one name. And then some Igbo names we thought of. I think one was Amara, Chizara, trying to remember. I don't remember any of them. I think, oh yeah, Chris liked the name Ariel. That was before we decided to keep Chris, like the Chris name. So Chris, like, is it Ariel or Ariel? What else did he like? I think he liked the name Chloe with a C. And more Igbo names. Ooh. He thought of my name as one of the Igbo names. But yeah, definitely Christiana was gonna be what the girl was, if it was a girl. Someone said, how can one build their self-esteem? To build your self-esteem, I feel like you have to know yourself. You have to know who you are, what you like, what you don't like. Because I feel like once you really understand who you are, then you appreciate your uniqueness and what it is about you that makes you you. Then once you realize, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm unique, I'm interesting, I'm funny, I'm beautiful, like, I'm smart, all this stuff, then you appreciate all the facets about you. And then I feel like you'll sit up a little bit more. Like, I feel like you have to really know yourself to feel, you know, good self-esteem about yourself. So that's what I would say. Get to know yourself. Spend alone time with yourself. Meditate. Think about things that you like, things you don't like. All your past experiences, think about how they made you feel and why you felt like that. And take away, like, what you didn't like about it, what you did like about it. Your friends, who are your friends? Why are they your friends? Your enemies, or the people that you're not friends with anymore, like, why? You know, just get to know the ins and outs of yourself, your personality, and then you'll learn who you are. And you feel like once you know who you are, you can walk confidently, because it's like, I know who I am, you know. So that's, I feel like, how one can build self-esteem. Actively try to get pregnant, like tracking your cycles and ovulation? No, I did not. She asked 2 questions, and then she asked, how long did it take you to get pregnant? No, so we didn't do that. So it was, honestly, it was like the day that I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's open ourselves up and pray and, you know, have a child. The next day I got pregnant. That's literally how it happened. So we didn't do any of the planning, like the tracking the cycles and ovulation, stuff like that. I can say it took 1 day and I got pregnant. Someone said, how are you finding motherhood? It's fun. It's fun, but the one side of it that makes me feel small, that's what I would say, makes me feel small, is that once you have this, you know, your baby, your child, and then you realize all the things, you know, in the world that maybe you can't control to protect your child, you know, or all the bad things that happen, or all the sick babies in the world, it makes you feel like so small, you know, because there's like, I'm doing what I can to, you know, feed you and provide for you and, you know, make you grow, you know, but there's some things that I can't protect you from. So I'm doing all I can to protect you from things that I can't. It kind of makes you feel small, and it makes you feel like, you know, I feel like I think in my head, like, I couldn't imagine being a parent and you lost a child, being a parent and your child is sick, being a parent and you can't be with your child for whatever reason, you know, like that part of motherhood kind of hits you, and you're kind of like, And then I remember, like, that's why my mom is so crazy. That's why moms are crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, oh, all the things just running through your head, and it's just like this little baby, and it's my child, and if anything happened, it's just like, what would I do? You know? So That's the part of that. That's the part of motherhood where sometimes my mind will go. And then you just got to remember to pray. God has you. God has your plan. God is protecting you. He's guiding you where you're supposed to go in life. You know, God is guiding you there. You know, so that's sometimes when you get anxious or you get overwhelmed, just remember to pray and know that God has you. You know, He won't steer you in the wrong direction. Has your social group changed since having a child? Okay, my social group hasn't changed because my friends are still my friends. And even the friends that have kids, that had kids before me, that have kids now when I had kids or don't have kids, it's all the same. But I feel like when I want to reach out and make new friends, I want someone that I can relate to. So like I want someone that's married and has children, you know, and then hopefully at least one of their children is like that's around the same age as my child, you know, because that's the only way I can say that, like, socially I feel like I've changed. It's like when you're seeking out friends, you kind of gravitate towards the ones that are like you, because you have things in common. They can help you with, you know, your child stuff, and then vice versa, you know. So it said week 2 of the diet didn't go well, so I've decided to restart. I'm on day 4 now. Aw, it's okay, just keep it going. I think she's talking about my 28-day body transformation private workout group that I have on Facebook. I'll link it down below. But right now I'm on the 2 days left, Saturday and Sunday, of my 4 weeks, and then I'm done. I can't wait to eat a burger. Can't wait to eat cookies, and then I'm gonna be off for a week, and I'm gonna start the next cycle because I want to keep going until I have I'm at my goal, till I'm at my goal for like spring and summer. So yes, okay. She said, I need help. I'm American and married to a Nigerian. Please help me with easy recipes. Aw. Rice and stew is easy. Egusi soup is easy. Okra soup is easy. Meat pie is easy. Chin chin is easy. Suya is easy. What other things? Those are like, I think those are like really good basics that are easy. So start with those. I feel like and I honestly think that those are the easiest things you can do. So yeah. What is the biggest lesson you learned on friendship? I still have to do a video talking about like friends and stuff like that, because you guys have seen a lot of my friends throughout the years have come through my videos, and like you don't see them anymore and stuff like that. So like one day I have to do a video on like things I've learned and stuff. I'll tell you like what I learned in my 20s. But the biggest lesson I learned is not to be so passive and let people run all over you, because they'll get used to the way that you do that, you're acting like that, and then the one day that you say no, or you stick up for yourself, or you don't let things pass you by, or you don't let people talk to you sideways without saying something, then they'll be like, oh, you're different. Oh, you changed. Why are you acting different? Oh, you know. And then it's like, no, I'm not crazy. It's you. Because it's like that one day where you stand up and don't take all that BS, then they start saying that you're not a nice person and stuff like that. And I feel like that's just based on my personality, because I'm kind of shy. I'm kind of quiet. I like everyone to feel comfortable, so sometimes I feel like I let a lot of things by, a lot of things pass. I've always been financially stable, as in like my parents take care of me, so I've never really had to like, oh, I need to go out and find a job because I don't have any money to pay rent and stuff like that, thank God. So I feel like that mixed in with my personality kind of let a lot of people just start acting sideways, and then getting to a point where it's like mentally draining, because you get at the point you get so exhausted. And there's a point where I got exhausted, and then I didn't let people do like that and to me anymore, and then everyone started being mad, you know. So anyways, I could go on about that, but that's my biggest lesson is don't let, if it happens the first time, okay, second time, say something about it, and don't let people walk all over you. Someone said, post baby intimate time with your husband, better or worse? I would say better. It's more adventurous because you kind of have to finagle the times you get to be with them and just, you know, have you like mommy and daddy time and stuff with your partner. So I would say better. It's more adventurous. It's more like, okay, we have a couple minutes, let's sneak away and like, you know, have some fun. So I would say it's better. Someone said, how close is Inky to Chris and you? Wait, how close is Inky to Chris and you to Lawrence as family in-law? Okay, I get it. Okay, so I feel so well, I've known Lawrence for a long time because Lawrence has been in the picture before Chris got here between like Inky and I. So I'm already close to Lawrence. And then Lawrence and Chris were friends before I met them. So we're already all close like that. And then I'm close with Inky because she's my sister. So naturally I feel like when things, I feel like, I don't, how do I explain this? Like, we didn't start out as like, I don't know how to explain this. It's just like, it wasn't like Inky and I were adults and we were like, oh, I met a guy, we're married. Oh, I met a guy too, we're married. Let's come together so they can get to know each other. No, it's just like Lawrence and Chris were already friends before I met Chris. Inky and I are best friend sisters, you know. And it's like I already knew Lawrence like way before they were engaged and married, had kids. So it's just like we were already close like this, you know what I mean? So it makes it very, very fun. Like, I don't know, sometimes when I see that siblings aren't as, they're two siblings and then they're partners and it's like they're not all close and like family, I'm just like what are you guys doing? You know, I just think that because like we're close, like we're like this, you know what I mean? Like, it's so fun because we all get excited when we get together and have fun and do things. Like we call ourselves the Adus because Inky's last name is Uradu and our last name is Madu, so Adus. So we have a group chat of the four of us and we call it the Adus. So yeah, so it's like, I don't know, it's just so fun. Like sometimes my family friends are like, oh wow, you're so lucky that, you know, you're so close to Inky's in-laws and like you and Inky and your husbands are so like close. I'm like, yeah, like I feel like I didn't realize that until people started saying it. I'm like, oh yeah, we are kind of like family, you know what I mean? So it's fun. Like when we're together, the four of us, it's like the best time, like the best time. You know, like, oh, it's so fun. And like last year when Inky had Adana, Lawrence and Chris went to Dominican Republic for a guys trip together. So it's like, then when they were going, I was like, well, I might as well go to Inky's and stay there. So, and she just had her baby. So I went to Inky's, I stayed there. And then Lawrence and Chris went to, because they had a birthday gathering that was already in the works. So they went. So yeah, so, and people were like, oh, like, we're like, oh, where are your husbands? Like, oh, they went to Dominican Republic together. So people were like, oh, you guys' husbands are that close? I'm like, yeah, like they're good friends, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's like, when I think about it now, it's like, oh yeah, that was kind of cute. Like, I was like the little bromance, like our husbands going off and doing their own thing, and then like we help each other and stuff like that. So yeah, so we're pretty close. Have you traveled to Nigeria since you had the baby? No, but we plan to very soon. I just actually got Kamsi's passport today, so I'm excited. How long have you been working at Walmart? This year will be 7 years, I believe. Yes, this November will be 7 years. Any plans to do more school, master's, PhD, etc? Give it a thought, but no pressure. No, I have a doctorate degree in pharmacy. I feel like I have other dreams and goals that are outside of like going to school to get an education for them, you know? So I don't know, I feel like I did my time with like education school. I got the highest degree that I can, you know? So no, I don't have any plans to go back to school, but I do see myself taking random classes in the future here and there, maybe like a business class, like a fashion class, maybe like a art class, you know, just for something to do, a hobby or something like that, like in the future, but not to get any degree or anything like that. Someone said, are you planning on having another kid, and were you not worried about giving birth at 30 years old? Yeah, so the plan, because, you know, God has his own plan, but our plan, I want to like wait until like Camp sees at least like a year and a half to like start having another baby, so that when the baby's here, he'll be like 2 years old, or maybe 2.5, you know, around that time. So that's our plan, but the baby could come any day. So and then they said, were you not worried about giving birth at 30? No, I wasn't worried at all. I didn't even think about it until somebody said, the person just said that. But yeah, I hope to finish having kids by 35. I'll be 32. I'll be 32 in April this year, so hopefully by 35 I'll be done having kids. So what has changed in your marriage since having your baby? I'm newlywed. What has changed? I feel like you have more, if you didn't before, you have more patience in general with everything. And then I feel like the way you see your partner changes in a good way. You know, like you see your partner with your child helping you out, doing things for you, you know, trying to help you be a mom, and then seeing them as a first-time parent. So I feel like you just see them differently in a good way. Is there anything you would have changed about your past? Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that I would say I would change, but then, and people always say this, but then I wouldn't be the person I am today. And then honestly, I wouldn't be the person I am today. But yeah, I'm trying to think like if there's something that I would change, but then it's like if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't know. Like I wouldn't have this pearl of wisdom in my head about life. You know what I mean? So, but I will say, I'll change about my past. I will say one thing I will say, and I know, and I keep saying to myself at my wedding, and then a tip for all of you guys that are planning your wedding: plan your wedding the way that you plan your dream wedding. Plan the wedding that you dreamt of your whole life. Plan your wedding how you want. Just if people want to give their opinions, let them talk, but then still go on and execute your plans based on what you want. There was one aspect of my wedding that I regret, and I wish that I would have thought to myself and stuck to what I wanted instead of letting people sway me. And I don't usually let people sway my decision about something, because I'm very confident in knowing what I want and knowing what I don't want. But at this point I was weak and I let people sway my decision. But the second outfit for my bridesmaids, I remember I was in Nigeria and we were picking fabrics, and I know that I wanted my bridesmaids to wear something white and silver for their second outfit, because by that time they changed, I'll be out of my white and into my gold dress. So I wanted them to be like wearing white and silver. And then I remember I was in the market, and like my aunties and my mom were like, okay, so what fabrics what colors do you want? This is for the second outfit for the bridesmaid. Like, okay, oh yeah, I want white with some. Everyone was like, ooh, white, 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 white. And I was just like, yeah, white. Like I have this vision of no white, no white. How can you do white? There goes my earring. And now in my mind I was just like, is it that bad? You know what I mean? But it's just like, oh, I was mad that I let everybody change my vision, and that's what I envisioned. And it's like, then they changed it, and then it's like I had it written down, I had it planned, I had no other option in my head of a color that I wanted. And then we were in the market in Nigeria, and if you know, fabric is cheaper in Nigeria, so it's kind of like just like get something now before we got to leave, because like we were leaving from Nigeria in a few days and the market was closing for holidays soon, all this stuff. So I was rushed into picking an alternative, and the dress was fine. The dresses looked fine. Like if you saw it, they were fine. But in my mind, in my vision, that's not what it was supposed to be. Okay, I'm just taking off these earrings, they're not staying. That's not what it was supposed to be. So I'm like, I can say if I go back, I would change the color of the dresses because that's not what I wanted. How to make a long distance relationship work. Sacrifice and taking the time out and prioritizing time, what's important, so you can make time for each other. That's how you make it work. And if you have intentions with the person beyond the relationship, as in like getting married one day, you know what I mean, then that mindset is what will give you strength throughout the long distance part. It's like you both have the same goal of what you want at the end. So you all in your respective places, you know, like, this is what I'm working towards, this is what we're working towards, this is what we're doing. But right now we're apart, but eventually we'll be together because we want to be together forever. I feel like that's the only way you can make long distance work. Because if you guys don't have that mindset or that goal or that intention, it's like what do we do? Like, why are we trying to do long distance? Like, well, why are we torturing ourselves for that for no reason, you know? So I like a mindset and a goal and plan. I feel like long distance relationships, they need more planning than those that aren't, because of being so far away and like eventually, you know, ending the long distanceness. So that's what I would say. Did you have morning sickness during pregnancy? No, I didn't. Mom said, when you were in school, did you ever fail or feel like giving up? Oh yeah, I have failed many exams in my life. Many exams in my life. I have failed so many exams. I remember, I will never forget this feeling. I remember being in my first year of college, being a freshman in chemistry. I think it was chemistry 1. And one of my exams that I got back, that grade was so low that it just like hit me like this, like, oh. I remember she passed back the exam. I looked at it, the number was so low, like it sent shocks through my body, and I never looked at that paper ever. I didn't even want to know what I missed, because just seeing all those marks and the grade was so painful. I still remember, I think it was a grade out of 100, and I think like, I remember the last number was an 8, so maybe I've got like a 48% or something like that. It was so low, maybe even 28%. It was so low. Ooh, the way that number hit me. Yeah, so I failed many exams in my life, but a lot of people fail in school in a lot of ways, so it's nothing to be like afraid of or ashamed of, or like, you know, make you feel down about yourself. Like a lot of people that have failed in a lot of things, they probably wouldn't, and they eventually succeeded, you know, they probably, you don't know half the stories of people's journeys to get where they are, you know what I mean? So don't feel like giving up. And oh yeah, and check out my video I did with mommy some years ago. People still comment on that video till today, but I did a video with mommy, and we were talking about mommy's experience coming to the US here, like when she first came to the US and stuff, and getting married and stuff like that, and going to school. And my mom, she studied English and literature in Nigeria. Like in Nigeria, you kind of like, your track of like where you're going in life is already set up. So it's like, my dad already knew that he wanted to do medicine, so his whole track was like, he went to schools that were more like science and math based, and he was really good at that. But my mom, she wanted to be a teacher, so like her track in school was like, she went to schools that were very good in like English and literature. So she went to school in Nigeria, and then when she came here, she changed, like she had a whole career change, and she wanted to do pharmacy. And then everyone was like, pharmacy? What math do you know? You know what I mean? So my mom was like, I can do this. And then she went and took an entrance exam to get into pharmacy school, and she failed that exam so bad. She failed that exam so bad that when they gave her back her result, they said, you have to start with like arithmetic. Mind you, my mom was like a college age in her 20s, and they were like, oh no honey, no, you got to start over again. So my mom literally started all over again and started with arithmetic in college, and then she eventually learned all the math and science, and then tapped that side of her brain, and then she became a pharmacist. So yeah, so it's like, you know, failure in life only just makes you stronger. Don't give up. How did you know your husband was the one? By prayers? Yes. What happened was, I got to a point, so I was talking to somebody. This was 2014? Yeah, 2014. I just got ended a relationship talking to some guy in January, which was, I didn't want to get into that. One day I'll tell that story. Woo! You know when you like meet the devil and then you come out of it and you're like, I just met the devil, that's what it was. Anyways, story for another day. But yeah, I just got out talking to somebody, and then I told myself, and I wrote it down. I'm still trying to find the notebook. I had a notebook that I wrote this down. So what I wrote down was what I wanted in a partner. So I wrote like physically, emotionally, spiritually, and then other general stuff. I was very specific. Very, like, the specificity that was there is scary, because when I see Chris, it was like, are you real? Because this is exactly what I asked for, and I got that and more. So I was very specific. I wrote down, I'm gonna find that notebook one day. So I was very specific, and then I had a song that I always played every day that made me dream of what I wrote down and seeing that person and seeing myself with that person. And one day I'm gonna write a book, so I don't want to tell you guys the song in more detail, but there was a song that I would play every day, and then when I'm getting ready in the morning, that song that played just made me envision and dream about that guy that I wrote about and I prayed about. I told God, okay, he's gonna have this and this and this, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this, he's gonna look like this, he's gonna be this tall, he's gonna look like this. You know, I was very specific. And then Chris came, and I was like, no, I can't be it. No, that ain't it. And then you're like, oh shit, it's what I asked for. And then I'm like, and then I got scared. I remember I told Inky, I was like, I'm scared. I was like, I'm scared. And she was like, why are you scared? I was like, because this is what I wanted. Anyways, as I said, I'll tell that whole story, more detail of like prayer and like being specific and knowing what you want. But yeah, but yes, whatever Chris is, it's scary. The stuff I wrote down. All right, I'll do two more. How did you make the most of your single season before you got married? I did a video on this also. I'll link it down below, about single season and enjoying your single season and living your best life and doing all the things that you want to do as a single person. Because if you focus so much on, oh, I want to be with someone, I want to get married now, I'm not married yet, you focus so much on that, by the time you get married and start having kids, you're going to start regretting that, oh man, when I was this age I should have done this, or when I was this age I should have focused more on just doing this. And it's like letting God, you know, point me in the direction of my partner when it was ready, you know. And it's like, oh man, I have so many kids, I never got to do this, or I never got to do that, you know. Because I see that a lot of people that are around me, I see that a lot happening with them. So with me, I was like, I'm single, I'm not married, I have no responsibilities, so I'm going to enjoy my money. I think it's like enjoying your money and enjoying your time and enjoying your freedom. Because all that goes away as soon as you get married. All that goes away as soon as you have kids. Because you have to consider all the other people that are part of your life financially, time-wise, and then freedom-wise. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just, like, I remember, like, what I did was I traveled every month. I traveled somewhere. I did whatever I wanted to do. I was up here, down here, flying here, doing this. I was enjoying my life, partying, you know, like going out to parties, having fun, making friends, hanging out with people, you know, like stay up, party till 5 a.m. in the morning, party till the sun comes up, and then do it all over again the same night, like the next night. Like, enjoy that, because you don't get that when you're married and have kids. Like, you don't get that, you know. So enjoy it. I went on a 1-month European adventure with my cousin. When will I ever in my life have time to do that ever again? When I'm retired and I'm like 50, 60? You know what I mean? Like, enjoy that now. I traveled Europe for 1 month with my cousin. Like how? You know what I mean? Like how can you do that again when you have a job and a husband and kids and you have a house to take care of? You know what I mean? So enjoy your time. Enjoy being single, because then you realize that you'll never be alone again. And then when you have kids screaming in your ear and then your husband over here, it's just like, you're like, oh, I just need to get away. You know, but it's just like, you know, enjoy the time that you have alone. Enjoy when you wake up. Because like right now, I have a house to take care of, I have a husband to take care of, I have a child to take care of, I have in-laws to take care of. It's like, I still remember those days, and I remember I cherished those days when I was single, living alone, just going to work. My money was my money, my time was my time, my freedom was my freedom. I'd wake up and be, like days that I would have off work, I'd wake up and be like, what do I do today? Maybe I'll go shopping. Maybe I'll book a flight and go to Europe next week. Maybe I'll hop on the road and like drive to DC to meet up with my friends. Maybe I'll go out tonight and go to the bar and get some drinks and meet some people and stay up all night. You know what I mean? Like, I remember those days where I'd just be like, what do I do? The world is my oyster. I can do whatever I want, you know? Like, I remember those days. I cherish those days and I appreciate those times, you know? But now, I don't have that freedom, but I don't feel like, oh, I missed out, because I enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoyed those. So it's just like, I don't feel like I lost out, or I never got to experience it, because I experienced it. I had fun. Even Chris, to this day, he always teases me and says, you partied. He was like, I'm glad you got all that partying out before I met you. I'm like, yes, I did. All right, last question. Skincare routine. Yeah, I'll do a new skincare routine. I'll do like a video on it on my channel. But as I said before, my mom has a skincare line. I feel like I say this all the time, but then I feel like people still like, oh, what's this new skincare line you're talking about? Or it's like all this stuff. So I'm saying it now. Yes, my mom, she launched a vegan, all natural, organic skincare line. So that's what I started using it when she launched, and she launched in October. So as soon as Campsy was born, I changed everything over to all her skincare stuff. So that's what I've been using since then, and my skin has completely changed. It's so good, you know, like, it's so good. And like, I'm so proud that my mom took her time. It took her like over a year to develop every single product, because she develops it herself. Like, she formulated it herself. It's not like she bought like wholesale and like putting her own name on it. Like, she developed all that herself, you know what I mean? She has her own lab, and where she does all that stuff. She has a chemist that puts all her ingredients together and formulates it. And so it's just like, you know, I'm like, just seeing her do all this, I don't know, just seeing her do all that stuff, like, and then her packaging is so nice, like, you know. So anyways, yeah, her natural essence skincare, I'll leave the website and the Instagram down below. But yeah, that's what I've been using on my skin. My two favorite products are the face cleanser and the rose night face cream, because it actually smells like roses. You know, there's real rose in there, so it smells like, oh, roses. It smells so good. Those are my two favorite products. But she has like beard oil for men, body wash for men, body lotion, and that body lotion is what I'm in Campsy's room right now. Like, this is where his change table is. And I switched over to mommy's lotion for using on Cam. This is the lotion I use on Cam now. It's so moisturizing, because I realized that like baby lotion, they make it so watery, like it's not creamy at all. So then I started using the Cam. I was like, actually, I can use this on Campsy. Like, it's, you know, it's safe, because it's all natural, organic, vegan. Like, you know, there's no harmful chemicals in here, so it's very safe for a baby. And then once I started using it, Inky was like, oh, let me use that too. So we use this on on our kids now, like just body lotion. So yeah, like that's what I'm using on my skin. I will do an updated skincare routine sometime this year. So yes. And then somebody said, oh, when will you restock on bonnets and robes? Yeah, so we have I'll put on the screen some pictures of the robe and the PJs that were the newest that I just released, and the I think I have 3 bonnets left, or maybe 2 now, that are still on the site. So if they're still available, you can get it now before they're gone. I literally think I have 2 bonnets left. So as you're watching this, pause, go buy the bonnet, and then come back. But I'll put on the screen what I have available. So yeah, so by the end of February this month, we'll have more robes coming out and more PJs. So yeah, anyways, I think that'll be the last question. The sun is going down, it's getting dark. I want to go on Instagram Live right now. It's like 5 o'clock, so I want to go on Instagram Live for a couple hours with you guys. So yeah, I'm trying to do Instagram Live like more frequent, so like weekly now, because I did it last week and it was so fun. You guys were so engaged, you guys were so happy, so I said, okay, I'm gonna do this more often. So yeah, anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.